Hi everyone, Sarah here. We're going to be talking about connection today. Connection and disconnection and our problems. The connection to our problem, the disconnection from our problems, or how we achieve disconnection to our problem when we feel like we have connections to our problems. So essentially the problems with our problems. We've all got them. There's songs about them, right? 99 of them. But you probably feel like you have 99 million of them. And if you want to change them so that they're no longer in the category of being called a problem, just a thing and a thing that doesn't affect or influence you or impact you, how do you do that? Right? And that change occurs within many things, but essentially the change within the feeling. We're really wanting to change the feeling, change the state of it, right? If you've ever done any kind of mastermind or self-help seminar or development, you may hear that change your state. Really, we want to change the feeling that we have, but our problems have problems, and the problems with our feelings is the problem is that they feel so bad. And when you come from emotionally abusive, neglectful, unavailable past, right? Where the emotions that you wanted and needed most were unavailable, were neglectful, were ones that made you feel less than helpless, hopeless, worthless, powerless, all the lesses. And I have another video that says, what less do you want to feel less? You want to feel less hopeless, less powerless, less worthless, all of those. That's the problem. The problem with the problem is, how do you feel less of the things that you don't want to feel? Are you still with me? So we have these connections. We have connections and then we experience disconnection. And when we're actually experiencing disconnection, we're experiencing a connection with something that makes us feel disconnected. And that is a feeling. There's a connection to a feeling of being disconnected. So there's lots of feeling, there's lots of being, because the words that follow I am follow us. I am disconnected. I am disassociated. I am helpless. I am hopeless. I am powerless. I am unable to do anything to change this. And we're using words and phrases, and we experiencing, maybe noticing these thoughts, most likely not, because on average we have 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day. We don't even notice that we have these thoughts, but every thought we have leaves an imprint and makes a mark on our state of being. So even if we're unknowingly believing nothing I can do, right? You may notice it come up in conversations that you have with friends or colleagues or people in your family. You may notice it in your way of being. And your way of being is getting you where you are, right? Stuck, feeling like it is what it is. And if you notice that you're negative in your conversation, but maybe you don't know. How do I know? How do I know that I am or that I'm not? Well, how are you feeling? What are you feeling? Where are you feeling it in your body? Most people that I work with are so deep and they're stuck in their muck, so deep in the muck and they're stuck in their muck. And they're like, I don't know. I don't even know where to begin. This feels like the way it's always been. And maybe it has, and it's just continued. So this doesn't feel like a new problem, but maybe it's making new problems because you've got new experiences. Maybe you're in a new job or a new relationship, and you're realizing wherever you go, there you are, and your problems are following you around like a puppy without a home, and you're feeding the problems. Here you go, here's some food. And so in you're feeding the problems that food with your negative thoughts and your negative feelings and your negative way of being, it's like you're feeling it, and so they keep coming back for more and more and more and more, and you keep giving more and more and more. It's like you keep feeding those negative nasty thoughts, and they're like, I really like that. I like when you feed me because you're connected to me, you're paying attention to me, you're making it known that I'm there. And so, and then that's the problem with the problems, is you become aware that they're there, and then you're like, go away, go away. And it's like a little puppy that's like, no, feed me more, that was so good, it's so delicious, I want more, please. And you're like, here, go, will you go away now? And that's the problem with our problems, is that we feed them like a little stray puppy that's just so cute, and you don't want anything bad to happen to it because it's so cute and it's got those big eyes, like, I have no one. They have no one but you, and your problems have no one but you. they're yours. And they're like, don't leave me, don't abandon me. And there's inner parts of you that know what it feels like to be left, to be alone, to be abandoned, to be neglected, to be betrayed, to be left out in the rain with nothing. Who knows what it feels like to be left unsupported? And so it's almost like you feed the problem. Here you go. I know how bad it hurts. I understand. And that's why it's so triggering when you connect with other people and they use words and phrases like I understand because you think you couldn't possibly. You're not me. So you sit there and you feed this little problem puppy little treats and you're like, here you go. And that's the problem with your problem is that you're feeding it and it becomes your way of being and it continues to come back and want more and more and more and grow. It's like this little puppy doesn't stay a small little puppy forever. It grows. And the more it grows, the more it uses and the more it needs. And the more you've got to do to take care of it, then it begins like destroying your house. It begins pooping everywhere. And then it needs training because now it's jumping, it's getting really big and it's jumping on people and it's scratching and biting because it's playing too rough because you haven't tamed it, you haven't maintained it, you haven't taught it how to be and how it's okay in this situation and this time, and it's not in this situation and this time. And then we begin to use words and phrases like, no, that's bad. That's a bad feeling. That's a bad emotion, anger, rage, bad feeling, bad emotion. There are appropriate times to have those feelings. But it's like, I don't know the appropriate time. It's like a little puppy that's just like, excited. And it's not like, no, you can't do that to grandma. She's 90 years old. She's frail. You cannot jump on her the way that you can jump on me when I get you all riled up and excited. There are appropriate times to feel that and do that and behave like that. And there are inappropriate times to do that and feel that and behave like that. So there are appropriate times to feel anger and to feel rage and appropriate ways to express them and safe ways to express them so that you're not hurting yourself or others. But we tend to label these and put them in little categories and buckets and say they're bad and I'm bad for feeling that, or I'm wrong for feeling those things, but they're feelings and they're ways of being. The problem with our problems is we feed the problems and then they grow and then they don't know how to behave, just like that little untrained puppy. It's like problems are like puppies. So I think, well, how do I change the state? Because I'm in the state of anger and rage. How do I change it? Oh, kumbaya, right? I sing, I pray, I meditate. I sing, I pray, I meditate. I don't know. Where'd you get that idea? I read it in a book somewhere. I sing, I pray, I meditate. You know what? I've been doing this and it doesn't work for me. Right. Okay. So then what? How do I change my problems? Well, here's the thing. There's a connection to them. There's a relationship with them, just like there's a connection and relationship to you and the puppy. You cut that off, puppy could die. Oh my God, you stop feeding the puppy and welcoming it into your home. It could just start roaming the streets and die and get hit by a car or just who knows. And you don't want to do that. You now have a connection and relationship to the problem. What you really want to do is change the connection, change the relationship. You want to train the puppy, right? If the puppy is your problem, you want to train them. And you want to allow them to be expressed in safe ways, in certain ways, in different situations and attitudes and in different places. Some just want to tame it. But first of all, calling the problems problems. And you can say, well, it is a problem because look, this is the outcome and this is the result that I get. But you have this connection and relationship to it. And in that, you have a connection and relationship to yourself because you realize, right? It's actually not the dog so much that needs training as the owner. Ooh, you mean I need training? Dogs just doing dog things? Yeah. So problems are just doing problem things. So you realize I'm the one that needs the training. That's right. Because what's happening within is being expressed without. And so you feel and realize I've without so many of these things that I want to be feeling, that I want to be being, right? I want to be feeling good. I want to be feeling in control. I want to be feeling happy, positive. I want to be feeling the good side of connected, but I don't want to feel the bad side of connected. Well, we don't live in Kumbaya land. That's just not this world that we live in. But even if you could get to more of that feeling rather than less of it, okay, yes, I felt it before. I want more of that. How do I get more of it? It's changing the relationship and changing the connection to the experience and to the feeling. So you want to feel that it's effortless to feel that connection. Because right now it feels, okay, I'm feeding the problem, I'm feeding the problem. That feeding it portion may feel effortless because you do it unconsciously. You're just unaware. Here's a treat, go away. Here's a treat, go away. and the dog jumps on you, and then you're like, here's a treat, get down. Well, they were just rewarded for jumping on you. So they're not going to get down, right, until you reward them after getting down. So there's a timing, there's a method, there's a process to this. And unconsciously, you're just like, here, go away. But you've just rewarded them from doing what you didn't want them to do. And then you realize, oh my God, I'm the one that needs training. It's the same thing with us, right? Not that you're not less intelligent or more intelligent than a dog, but the point is, we can train, we can be trained, we can be programmed, we can be redefined. And that's the power of using your unconscious mind, is it happens much more quickly. It happens much more effortlessly. Big word to say. It happens more easily. It happens without you having to think about it as often. It's like, nope, down, treat. Oh, look at that. Oh my gosh, did you see that? So right. Get excited, the dog jumps back up. Get down. What are you doing? No, bad dog. And you're thinking, oh, this isn't working. We're the same way. Our minds learn by repetition. And when we work with the more powerful part of our mind, when we're trying to create change in our lives and we're trying to change and transform the relationship and the connection that we have with our problems, if we're doing it just consciously, it's going to feel like there's a lot more effort, a lot more time, and a lot more energy involved. And there is, and that's where most people give up and go, this is too hard. And that's where most people have this belief, this is going to take forever. Well, time doesn't heal all things. I mean, you leave a dog alone in a house that's untrained for a long time, you're going to come back and it's destroyed. And the dog will be like, hey, where you been? Look what I did. Ha, proud of me? Where's the treat? And you're thinking, oh my God. But you leave a trained dog in a home, it's not going to destroy it the same way that an untrained one is. So time alone does not heal all things. It's what you do with that time. You can take a dog that's untrained for 5 years and it's going to behave that way for 5 years. You can take a dog and with that same amount of time, use some of it to train it and then watch the remaining 5 years be vastly different. Get what I'm saying? So to feel effortlessly connected to yourself and the results that you want and your way of being and the outcome that you deserve and that you desire, you need to put in some time and energy into training it. And you need to be using the right part of you that's going to create that change much more quickly and much more efficiently and easily. And that is the part of your mind that's the driver, the navigator, the director. That's the part of your mind that is unconscious, right? And un means not. So if you think about it this way, if you're using your unconscious mind or your subconscious mind, sub means below, right? That major vast majority of your mind, then you can get to where you do not have the same outcome from the same problems that you had. You can take a problem that used to be a problem, and every time it was a problem, you get a result in an outcome like this. Do some training, some inner work with your unconscious mind, have the same problem, but get a different outcome and a different result because you have a different connection and relationship to it. And that relationship and connection to it is within the feeling that you have when that is presented to you, when that is sitting there in your lap. Okay, what do I do? Because before the connection relationship was, and you freak out and panic. You feel like you have no control. You feel powerless, helpless, hopeless, worthless. Nothing I can do. It's a puppy jumping on you. Okay, give. And then you were just rewarding bad behavior. So that programming of rewarding bad behavior is what got you the results you used to get. So if you want to have true change within that, using the unconscious mind as the motivator and the activator to get a different result and a different outcome, rather than going, I don't know why this isn't working. I hope you're still following me. It's okay if you're not. Most people that I work with, especially people who are coming from an abusive, emotionally unavailable, neglectful past, they feel that's what I want, what I dream, what I deserve, what I desire, what I would hope that I deserve. I don't know. That feels really far out, stretched out to say. I want to think that I deserve a life that's better than this, a life of happiness and peace and joy, freedom, a life where I feel like I can breathe, where I don't feel like there's a weight on me constantly, a life where I feel like I have power, where I feel like I have influence, where I have choice, where I'm not just all the time like that owner that comes in and sees the destroyed house. I want to feel calm in my body. I want to feel good. I want to feel happy in my relationships, the one that I have with myself and the one that I have with others. And I realize that if anything is going to change, that connection and relationship within myself has got to be what changes. So I realize, okay, it's got to start with me, but where do I start? There's so many problems. 99, like the song. Even more than that, they need to do a remake and a remix. What you deserve and desire is a change in the state, a change in the relationship, and a change in the feeling, right? The dog feels really, really good when it's rewarded for good behavior, right? The owner feels good. Wow, good behavior, good dog. Dog does what it's expected to, and it gets rewarded. The dog feels good. Little tail wags, happy, happy, happy. A changed relationship, a good relationship, and you want and deserve and desire that kind of relationship with yourself where you can reward yourself with the thoughts that you have. You're rewarded by your feelings, where your feelings are contentment, peace, satisfaction, gratitude, fulfillment. I feel good. I'm rewarding myself with good thoughts, with good feelings, with powerful, motivational thoughts. I'm not sabotaging and harming myself and going, man, I suck, and probably not saying that. Like, I did the best I could. Chug, 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 chug. I hate myself. I'm going to drown my sorrows in alcohol or medicine. No, you want to be able to get an internal reward system where you're truly rewarding yourself with powerful positive thoughts, with those affirmations and those statements and those mantras and those prayers that you're using, and really allow them to become embedded in you and a part of you and truly transform and change you from the inside out. But you've got to believe that. You've got to believe them first and foremost, because if you're using those and you're disconnected from the feeling that those are supposed to give you, you're not going to get the outcome. You're not going to get the result that you're looking for. You're not going to get the result that you're after, because there's going to be a connection to disconnection. So that's like a kink in the hose. It's like I'm putting all this in, it's like turning on the water, right? Oh, let it flow. And then someone kinked the hose and it's like, ha ha ha, watch this. And that's where that feeling and all of those other steps really come into play and become such an important part of this way of being. And you look at these people that are just super happy and seem to be so confident and have it all together, and you're like, how is that their way of being? I hate them. They don't deserve that. And then inside you feel jealousy, you feel envy, you feel rage, you feel discontentment, and you start to hate on them. Haters gonna hate, and so you're hating because you hate that they have what you want and you desire, and you're like, how do I get it? That's all I want. And your deepest desires just know that you're connected. We're hardwired. We are internally programmed. It's a part of our mental and emotional, spiritual blueprint, even our physical blueprint. That's why it's one of the love languages, physical touch. You've got these imprints and these impressions and this blueprint for your life, and the foundation and the basis of that's connection. And it's not a connection to disconnection. It's not a connection to the things you don't like and the things you don't want and the things that you make you feel inside. Jealousy, envy, rage, discontent, like, ew, they don't deserve that. Look at them. You really don't want connection to that. You want connection to those things that you perceive and believe that they have it all, whatever it all is, right? But your perception of that, it makes you believe that they're happy with that. You want a connection to that feeling of inner peace, contentment, joy, and happiness. That's what you truly deserve and desire. And you've got a blueprint and a foundation for connection, but what's being built on it? What are the structure? What are the walls on there? Are they all wonky, or are they like really foundational and symmetrical? Like, what training, what has been put in place there? And you look at yours and you look at theirs and you're like, I don't know, something's totally off. What kind of connection to the true type of connection that you deserve and desire do you have? Or does that feel like way off in the distance? Like you're gonna need a major, big, powerful telescope to see, because it feels like it's so far out there, it's so far out of reach. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. And are those the types of connections and thoughts that you have that you're connected to? Yeah, that's not going to happen. And so it just feels like if it ever would, or if it ever could, or ever were going to, it would take a lot of work because it feels so far away. And then you just get overrun with heaviness, with defeat. Those are the unconscious beliefs at work. That's why when you really work on laying that foundation, of powerful, motivating, inspiring, unconscious beliefs. You really connect with the feeling, and that's what allows you to connect with the feeling because a belief makes a thought dictates an action, a habit, a pattern, a behavior, that all of those leave you with the feeling. And if all those feelings stack up and match up and they feel like, oh my God, how much more of this? Can't even move, tired, I'm exhausted. I can't do this anymore. And what you really desire is to have those align with connection, real, genuine connection, connection to positivity, connection to purpose, connection to, wow, this makes me feel really good. And I feel really good. And when I feel really good, I allow other people to feel really good. And I feel safe feeling really good. I trust feeling really good. I no longer have this idea that, oh my gosh, this isn't gonna last. And it's gonna like magically go away and someone's gonna rip the happiness carpet out from underneath me because you've set these systems in place. And yes, the mind learns by repetition, and what you're moving towards is moving towards you, but you may feel that you're moving towards trying to get all these things, but it's not moving towards you. It's standing there like this. I just saw that. You totally tripped and fell. You just ate it. And you may feel that it's not moving towards you, but it's standing there mocking you. That's not a good feeling. So you just want to, you know what? You want to throw your hands up and start walking in another direction. And there are so many things out there that allow you to do that do divert you, that do distract you. And you're like, fine, you know what? But what you're moving towards is moving towards you. It's energetically, like it magnetically. My daughter this past weekend, we like to go outdoors and go hiking. And she had a hiking stick, and on the top of it was a compass. And we were talking about the compass. She was asking about the letters on it. And she was asking about, north and north and how it knows because she noticed it was moving and it was pointing in a certain direction. I said, well, it's north and it just goes that way. Why? Right? She's 5 years old. Why? You remember being 5 years old. Why? And if you have a 5 year old, you hear why? It's just the way it works. What do you mean? Why does it work that way? I don't know. Let's ask YouTube. So we looked up a YouTube video explaining, energies and magnetics to children. And we found this video that I didn't think was very good, but that was my perception, but it did the job. And I explained to her, right? There's energy, there's magnetisms, and we're pulled and we're connected to certain frequencies and energies, and they move and they shift, right? But they're always getting you on track. So what track are you on? Are you energetically and magnetically being pulled and aligned and away from those things that you deserve and desire and towards things that you don't? And what's going on internally when that's occurring, right? And you want to change your state. You don't want to keep changing it. You don't want to keep flip-flopping like, oh, I had a really bad day. Oh, I had a good day. Oh, I had a bad day. Oh, I had a good day. My life sucks. No, I guess life's not that bad. Oh, it's like, ew. Look, they've got it way worse than I do. Maybe I have no room to talk and keep flip-flopping. You want your life, just like that compass pointing north, to be on the right track. And you want to be connected to those feelings that even if you hit a bump in the road, you still keep going that direction. You don't feel like, ugh, see, all of that was for nothing. But you may feel that with those different energies and frequencies and connection to disconnection, right? So if there's a lot of connection in your life to things that leave you feeling disconnected, there's another direction that you're hoping to go, that you desire to go, but you realize, man, I'm like that puppy. I'm all over the place and I'm like destroying everything. I don't want to. Like that puppy really, really wants to do a good job, but it's like, how do I do a good job? I don't know. A connection and a relationship. And that connection and relationship begins with the one that we have with ourselves. But when we look in the mirror, often when we have a past of neglect and abuse, we've got beliefs about ourselves that when we look in the mirror, we see and feel are true. We feel that we're hopeless. We don't just see it, we feel it, we believe it, that we're worthless, that nothing we do is good enough, no matter how good you thought it was, and no matter how long you worked on it and how hard you worked on it. You look at it and you see it, and what you see is subpar. and you see that the places that you failed and the places that you could have done better and you should have done better. And it's like you hear this voice inside your head that says shoulda, woulda, coulda, and you're like, I know. Ugh. And then you have connection to those thoughts and to those feelings and disconnection to the ones that you want. And you really want to flip flop that. You really want to have disconnection to those. I know I suck. You're right. I shouldn't have even tried. What was I thinking? You want to switch it so you have disconnection to those thoughts. So energetically, they're repelled and they seem to just bounce right off you and not be connected to you. You want to have that energetic, beautiful, healthy connection and relationship to look at how amazing you did. So what? They didn't think it's perfect. What is perfect? Perception. It's a certain angle that you're looking at something. And the way that I see this now is I did everything I could. And I accept and I believe and I know that. And so I accept and believe this really good feeling with this, that I'm proud of myself. And even if that person's not proud of me, I don't need them to be proud of me to have this proud, good, accomplished, satisfied, fulfilled feeling. This is my feeling. And I believe it and I know it and I feel it in every cell of my being and every fiber of my body. And that is the kind of connection you want because that's the kind of connection that can get you anything. That's the kind of connection that brings you pleasure and says, yes, there are 99 problems out there, but I don't need to be connected to them. I don't need to take them on as mine. I don't need to feel like, oh my gosh. Or I can take on as many as I choose and I choose maybe one at a time, two at a time. I choose whatever I know I'm capable of handling and nothing more. And I don't choose less because I know what's right for me and I choose what's right for me. And I get to choose what I know that is because I choose my way of being. And in that, I get to choose to feel good with the things that I say and the relationships that I have and the accomplishments and achievements that I do have. And even if I didn't get everything done, show me a person who got everything done in the world today on today. We all have a list of things that we're working on. But when that's what you're coming from, and you're coming from this place of being effortlessly disconnected, you can only live that way for so long until it really, really, really plays a toll on you and makes a big impact on the life that you're living. And if you're not feeling the impact by the life that you're living and you're feeling heavy because you don't feel that you're making the impact that you would like in your relationships, it does begin by looking in the mirror. And you know the thoughts you have. There's so many exercises that allow you to identify those. We've got those in the Transforming Past Pain to Present Power program as well. And it is extremely helpful to really get connected and see them, not only see them, like read them and see where you feel them in your body, because it's all part of this experience and this journey through transformation. But the foundation of it are the unconscious beliefs that lie underneath. And that's really where we work on transforming, whether it's one-to-one work that we have together or whether it's a self-guided experience that you have going through our program, transforming past pain to present power, whichever you want. They're both available to you, whichever one calls to you most, whichever one most aligns with you. I truly believe that doing the conscious work paired with the unconscious works makes the greatest and biggest difference, and it makes it in the quickest way. Yes, you can try to go from here to there, from A to B, right? And if there's 10 miles in between, you can walk or you can drive a car at 100 miles an hour. You're gonna get there, right? From A to B. We're all born and we all die. We're gonna get there someday, wherever there is. But wherever it is that you're going, if you're not going at the speed that you wished or hoped that you could go, if you feel like this is too slow, this progress, I'm on this journey and oh my God, it's taking forever, and am I ever gonna get there? It depends on the tools. It depends on the methods that you're using. So, are you walking with like literally one foot in front of the other? Or are you expediting it by getting a new foundation, right? And connection to the feelings that you deserve and desire rather than the ones that you don't want, but feel like you have. Getting rid of those and reframing this whole structure so that, like, oh my gosh, this is a house and this is a solid, strong house. It's not like, and one gust of wind comes and like the big bad wolf, puffed and puffed and blew your house down. Hey, how from that? And start over again. Mm. So, whatever it is that you want, you want to feel effortlessly connected to this life, your passion, your purpose, your reason, your state of being here, and that feeling that you feel when you're in that state and when you're not in it. Do I just jump out of it and try to change it? And am I faking it? Are you trying to fake it till you make it? Or are you really sitting with all those feelings until they no longer need to be felt and giving yourself that space and that grace and not feeling like everything's been blown away and knocked over and looking at what you have, taking a true, genuine, authentic evaluation of what you have and where you're at and where you want to go and using the tools to get you there much more quickly, using power tools instead of hand manual tools. I was putting together a table this weekend, and you know what I loved using? I was like, thing, the power drill. Sat there and using like a handheld screwdriver. God, no thanks. It would have taken so much longer. And that is the power of using your unconscious mind. It's like using a power drill. You're like, yes, yes, feel the power versus a little handheld screwdriver. Vast different. There's many, many ways to get the change that you're seeking, right? And to get rid of the problems and put solutions in their place. But what method are you using? What tools are you using? And if you feel like I don't know, I'm trying to hammer something in with a nail. Yeah. All I have is a screwdriver. And this is a hammer kind of job. You're not going to get very far very fast. So when you're ready to go on this journey and exponentially change your life and really get into that place where you're feeling effortless to connect with those better feeling thoughts of joy, peace, happiness, contentment, and look at the pain from your past, the neglect, the abuse from your past, and see it as a purpose. You know what? I had to go through that. That had a powerful purpose. And it's no longer energetically connected in a negative way. But I can see how if I hadn't gone through that, it wouldn't be who I am today or where I am today. So thank you. And if you really want to look back on your past abusive and neglectful life and relationships with gratitude and with joy, with acceptance and with compassion. Oh, and see that, wow, triggers are teachers. I am so grateful for all those times that I was triggered. I was like, trigger, 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 trigger. My amygdala was like, "Ah, fight, 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 fight. Nah, I can't get out of here." And now it's like, ah, I only get into that state when it's needed, when there's an actual real purpose. Right? When you're driving down the road and you all of a sudden red lights everywhere and people in front of you are slamming on the brakes, amygdala, and then you're safe. Oh, thank you. Instead of feeling like it's open and stuck in that state constantly and all the time. The big, big difference. And when you do the inner work to healing and you use the power tools, you use the tools of your unconscious mind instead of, oh, trying to use a little hammer for a job where a screwdriver is required. That is the beauty and the power of the program that we've created, transforming past pain to present power. It uses the conscious exercises and activities and the energetics and the science behind it to have you know what all of these things do and how they impact and affect and influence you. And you can see it and you can see it and you can feel it. And then rewiring and reframing and reprogramming your unconscious mind using transformational healing therapy sessions that are throughout the entirety of the program. I would love to see you guys inside our program if that's what you're ready for and you're ready to tame that little inner puppy. Sit. Good. Now you get a treat, not all over the place. So if that's what you feel like your life is, and you feel like you're connected to disconnection, and you want to have the connection to true, genuine connection with yourself, so that you can feel safe and trust in the connection that you have with others, then I'd love to see you inside of our program. You can find out more information in the description below this video. You can also find out more information on the website, or if you're interested in working one-to-one together as well, using transformational healing sessions and working one-to-one to really get to the deep core and root of what's going on, what's blocking you, what's preventing you from being able to get outside of maybe that box or that paradigm that your mind is currently stuck in, I would love to connect with you as well. So information for all of that in the descriptions below and on my website. All right, guys, that is all for today. Bye for now.